Let me know if you've ever had any of these questions run through your head. I need to hire a new attorney, but I'm afraid I can't afford them. I have no idea what to pay a new attorney. Am I paying too much for my attorney? And all the same questions for a paralegal. These are questions that attorneys ask us a lot. And we've got a fairly simple solution. Design a comp plan that is profitable for both you and the employee. And usually what we get is some sarcastic remark that's like, yeah, I knew that, but how much should I pay a billable person? So I'm going to tell you a story. Mark had hired attorneys in the past and had set their salary by, kind of bumping it up slightly from their last employer. And when hiring baby lawyers, he'd kind of ask around town and see what people were paying. And he'd set a salary kind of in the middle of what his colleagues were paying. And that was how he did it. And eventually he realized that he wasn't making very much money off of the attorneys. And it always seemed to come down to his billing, the billing that he did personally to be able to cover all the overhead costs. So when Mark came to us, we explained that 1/3 of what he bills and collects should go to payroll. No more, that's it. And that 1/3 included his billable people. We designed a comp plan for a baby attorney where he not only covered his own salary, but a portion of the overhead and most of the receptionist. This meant that Mark no longer had to come in on the weekends to bill enough to pay the rent. You want to know how we taught Mark how to do this? I can teach you the same thing right here, right now. First, figure out a couple of things. What is their anticipated billing goal, right? Are they going to bill 1,200 hours a year, 1,400, 2,000? And then you multiply that by the billing rate. Are they going to be billed out at $200, $300, $400 an hour? So let's do a little math here. If their billable goal is 1,200 hours, which we think is a very doable billable goal, that's 100 hours a month, and their rate is $300 an hour, they're going to bill $360,000 a year. Now, you got to subtract out your bad debt. And when I say that, I mean the amount that you don't collect. So if you only collect 75% of what you bill, you've got to factor this in when figuring out the potential billable person's anticipated revenue. So let's keep going with this same attorney, $360,000 a year times 0.75, which is 75% collection rate, means that he is going to bill an anticipated $270,000 for the year. Now, we want to maintain specific ratios of the amount they're going to bill and collect, so that $270,000 versus their payroll costs. All right, we're going to talk about multiples of payroll. I better tell you what's included in payroll. Their salary, their bonus, their 401k, health insurance, the taxes that you pay as the employer, and any other benefits that you may offer, right? So what's the total cost of employing this person? Now, I said we use multiples, and we use a multiple between 3 and 5. And here's why. So there are 3 kinds of attorneys. There are the finders, the minders, and the grinders. I'm going to start with the grinders because everybody can identify with the grinder, and everybody watching this has probably been a grinder at some point. A grinder is that young attorney that comes to work for you, and all you want them to do is bill. All you want them to do is grind out hours. And if you could, you would chain them to a desk, not let them drink anything, not let them eat anything, not give them a phone, keep them in a windowless office, and do nothing but grind out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours for you every year. They are young. They are fairly inexperienced. and they're going to get that experience grinding out the hours for you. We want them to have a 5x multiple. They should be supporting not only themselves, but they should be supporting non-billable people on your staff. Now, as a grinder, as a young attorney matures, as they get more experience, they take on more responsibilities and they start to morph into a minder. Now, a minder is someone who teaches and trains younger attorneys, and they really kind of take care of clients, right? They make sure that that relationship is still going well. Now, because the minder is not doing as many billable hours, right? His billable hour goal is going to fall because he's taken on these non-billable activities like teaching and training younger attorneys. His multiple is going to fall to about a 4. It's going to be a little bit offset by his rising billing rate, but the net of the falling billable goal and the rising billable rate, hourly rate, is that they're going to come out about a 4. Now, there's a third kind of attorney, and I know a lot of the people watching this are or want to be this, and those are the finders. These are the people that go out into the world and basically club potential clients over the head and drag them back to the law firm by their hair and deposit them in the lap of the minder. The finder doesn't bill a whole lot, right? His biggest impact on the firm is by bringing back those new clients, and that's exactly what you want that person to be doing. They tend to have very high billing rates and very low billable goals. The net effect of this is that they are going to bill and collect about 3 times the cost to employ them. All right, let's do a little more quick math so that this makes a little more sense. We have a grinder. He's working 1,400 hours a year. Remember, we've got him chained to a desk in a windowless room with no phone and no other distractions. So 1,400 hours at $300 per hour is about $420,000. Let's say this firm collects 80% of it. That means $336,000. All right, $336,000 anticipated billed and collected. If we divide that by 5, because remember, this is a grinder, you're going to get a cost of employment of $67,000. All right. One last thing to do, we need to subtract out taxes and other benefits. Now, if you're not offering insurance, that's usually about 12%. If you are offering full benefits, or if you live in California where taxes are really high, it's closer to 20%. So let's say that we offer full benefits and aren't in California, we're going to subtract out 20%, which gives us a starting salary of about $55,000. Does that make sense? All right, let's do a quick thing on paralegals. First of all, they're the opposite of attorneys. They start at a low multiple and over their career, they grow to a high. So they usually start around a 2 and grow until up to a 5. And here's why. When paralegals are young and inexperienced, they do a lot of non-billable tasks. As they grow, as they become more adept at their job, they start to drop those things like opening the mail. So they start at a 2 and they go up to a 5. If you want to know more about how to improve the profitability of your team, click the link below.